Alright, so this video is about adding and subtracting rational expressions. And just to make sure we're all on the same page about what a rational expression is, let's go ahead and write that word down. Rational expression. Sorry that's so sloppy, but you get the idea. So, rational is a term in mathematics meaning it's represented as a fraction, or it's a number that is rational, meaning if we turn it to a decimal, the decimal would never... the decimal would repeat and end. The decimal would repeat or end if it's rational. Kind of like if I did 3 divided by 5, if you type in the calculator, that's 0.6. So 0.6 is a decimal that ends. And so a rational number can be represented as a fraction. And so when we say rational mathematics, typically what we mean is a fraction of some kind. So you'll notice that 5x over 4 is a fraction. Or 6 over x minus 1 is a fraction. But again, a fraction usually refers to a number, but a rational term could be a number or an expression. So we use rational for fraction, and an expression means it's not an equation, right? Because if it's an equation, it would be all this equals 7. But it doesn't equal 7. It's just an expression. So this is called a rational expression because I'm not solving anything. So if it's not an equation, that means I can't solve. And if I can't solve, all that I can do is simplify or combine these into one big term. Now, just to kind of give you the idea, when we combine a rational expression, let's just do something a little simpler. Like if I gave you 3 over 4 minus 5 over 6. Right? So those are two rational numbers, or again, fractions. When we combine fractions, we have to have a common denominator, right? And so the common denominator for 4 and 6 happens to be 12, okay? But you could also say 24, right? Because 4 times 6 is 24, and 6 times 4 is 24, right? And that would give me the same denominator. And of course, whatever I do to the bottom, I'd have to do to the top. So 6 both top and bottom, 4 both top and bottom here. And again, we'd multiply, combine like terms, and then we'd be done. So, same thing goes with rational expressions. So we need to get a common denominator. And the easiest way to kind of go about it is, okay, in this first fraction here, 6 over x minus 1. And in the second expression, 5x over 4, my denominators are different, right? And I need them to be the same so I can subtract them. The way I'm going to go about this is I'm going to multiply this first rational expression by 4. Because that one is missing the 4 from over here. It's missing the 4 that's already there on that second rational expression. And then this 4 is missing x minus 1. So do you see what I did there? See how both denominators are now the same? So it's 4 times x minus 1 and 4 times x minus 1. Now the denominators are the same. Okay, now here's the tricky part, just like with regular fractions. So I'm multiplying that first fraction or rational expression by 4. So whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top, so I'm multiplying it by 4. For the second part here, I'm multiplying it by x minus 1. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. All right? So for the next part here, I'm only going to look at that expression to start. So on top, 4 times 6, 24. Over. I'm going to distribute that 4 into x minus 1, which gives me 4x minus 4. Okay? So that's part. Let's go ahead and move over here to this expression. All right, so 5x gets distributed inside, so 5x times x gives me 5x squared minus 5x. And remember, the denominators are already the same, so I don't need to redo the math. I already know it's going to be 4x minus 4. Okay? Final step of this would be, now that I have the same denominator, right? So 4x minus 4, 4x minus 4. When we add and subtract fractions, or rational expressions here, we don't worry about the denominator anymore. Now that they match, all we need to look at is the top numbers here, 24 and 5x squared minus 5x. But just be aware, this is a subtraction. So it's minus all of 5x squared minus 5x. So what I like to do is distribute the negative, which just turns all the signs, so that positive 5x squared becomes negative, and this negative 5x becomes positive 5x. Now we combine like terms, which there are none on the top of the expression there. So the final answer here would be negative 5x squared plus 5x plus 24, all over 4x minus 4. So notice how I've combined those two separate rational expressions into one complete expression. And then from here, we can do a lot of things from here, which we won't get into today or in this video, but that is how we combine rational expressions into one single expression.